So let me ask you a question. What is the hardest thing you did this month? It's the last Sunday of the month, and we're going to have like a little audit of how the month or the year has gone, but we'll be focusing on July, right? So, what's the hardest thing you've done this month? Or if I want to paraphrase that, what is the thing you've done that has shocked you the most in a good way? So, something you've done and you're like, oh my, I did that. So while you're still thinking about yours, I will go first. But before then, hey vibers, welcome to episode 10 of My Two Cents on Vibing with Stacia. I remain your host, Stacia, and if you're new here, it's a pleasure to have you. We do have a tradition where we subscribe, turn on the notification, and stay tuned for posts like this every week. And to the OGs who know the drill, thank you so much for your immeasurable support. I don't take that for granted. So, let's get into July's audit. What is the thing you've done this month that has shocked you in a good way? Something you've done and you're like, yo, I can't believe I did that. So I said I'm going to go first, right? This is episode 10 of My Two Cents. First off, I am super grateful that this is episode 10. It felt like yesterday when I started with episode 1, not certain of when I'm going to get to episode 10. But here I am on episode 10 and looking to get to episode 1000 in the future. Fingers crossed, I'm working really hard for that. But remember when I said I started a new job, and in the last 3 weeks, it's been really hectic for me. And keeping up with this podcast weekly, I'm still in shock of my consistency. I'm super grateful for that because the me of the past would have given up. The me of the past, the way I am exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally, I would have just given up on this. So I started a new role. I live in Bradford and my office is in Wakefield. So it takes me 1 hour 45 minutes to get to the office and 1 hour 45 minutes to commute back. So I have to wake up 5 a.m. in the morning, get ready, leave the house by 6:30, get on the bus to get to work at 8:30. So you can imagine every morning I'm already first off tired because I don't sleep enough. Getting to the office, I'm faced with training, lots of new things to learn, lots of materials to consume, and every week I have an assessment that is a fail or pass. If you fail, you are out the door. I've not even started the job and you're trying to test my patience. Like you're putting you under so much pressure. So naturally, I'm already under pressure. Pressure to perform. And then there is this. I have to still be consistent with it. I have to practice what I preach, right? So it's the hardest thing for me. The hardest thing for the entire July is keeping up with everything in my life, still having a sane head. Prior to starting the job, I had time, so I would record the podcast Wednesday, take my time to edit it, and then post it on Sunday. I could record it on Saturday. It was easy. But when I started the job, I didn't have all that time, right? So I leave the house 6:30 and then come back 6:30 in the evening. I am knackered. I can't do anything by that time. Most times I get to record on a Sunday. I record on Sunday before going to church, then come back from church, start editing. As I'm editing, I'm prepping for the next week. I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm washing. I am tired, I am drained. I just want to lie down and sleep. But I've told myself that my why is bigger than all this. I knew the reason I started. Remember when we spoke about your why in episode 3? That your why is what's going to keep you going even when things get tough. Things are really tough for me right now. Like the way I've been scaling through, and I'm still just in shock that we're in episode 10, that I'm not giving up. It's only grace. Every day when I wake up, I commit this project into God's hands. It's not something I started with blind eyes. And I tell God, you've given me this idea for the longest. Finally, you've bettered this idea. You're not going to leave me halfway. You're going to give me the strength to continue. You gave me the job. I've been praying for the job. You brought the job just at the time when I have this project. So if you're bringing all this together, it means you're going to give me the strength. God does not call the perfect or the qualified. He qualifies the imperfect. So I'm not perfect. I'm not strong-willed. I don't like anything that will stress me mentally. But for me, I've pushed myself to expand. I'm growing. I'm ready. And that's the truth. When you're ready for something, you will find the strength even when you don't have it. When you understand your why, when you know what's at risk, you will find the strength even when you don't feel like it. I'm just in awe of how much I have grown, how much I am expanding, how much I am pushing myself above my limit, my comfort zone. And then that brings me to the most important question for today. What are you willing to sacrifice for your dreams, for your purpose, for your future? What are you willing to sacrifice right now? Because the truth is, you would have to sacrifice something. It doesn't come easy. It's never going to be an easy journey. Don't think when you start anything that it's going to be rosy, easy peasy, you just do wake up and do it. No, it's going to get tough. Now, if you're always going to quit when it gets tough, you will never grow, and you will never see how much you can take. You will never see how big you could expand. You will never understand your true capacity. So if you quit whenever it gets tough, nothing is going to be easy. If you start a job today and you think, oh, this job is not for me, it's really hard, and you quit the job, you go to the next one. It's also going to be tough. It doesn't matter the kind of job, it's going to be tough. Would you quit that one then? If you quit that one and you start the next one is also going to be tough. Sometimes even tougher than the last one. So would you still quit? At some point, you have to stop quitting. You have to understand that you need to grow. That popular saying, when the situation gets tougher, only the tough gets going. I'm finally among the tough. Because God, the situation is tough for me right now, but I'm tougher. And that is why I keep going. And I'm sure it is for all of you. There's probably something that you're doing, that you're pushing yourself above limit, and you're going no matter how tired you are, no matter how scared you are, no matter how afraid you are, you're still pushing yourself. And today I just want to commend you. So let's take a moment to just pat our backs, celebrate our little wins, and celebrate how far we've come, how well we are growing. The Bible will let you know that if you're faithful in the little things, then God can trust you with the bigger things. It means you have to grow. And how do you grow? By staying resilient, even when you don't feel like it, even when you don't want to show up. I'm recording this video in the middle of the night because this is the only time I think I can do it. So I'm sacrificing sleep to get some sleep later in the day. So what are you willing to sacrifice? What price are you willing to pay for the dreams, for your future, for the life you want, for the goal you want to achieve? Because something's got to give, right? Something's got to give. You can't quit when it gets tough. You can't say, oh, well, you know what? Screw that. You've got to push. And I know it's not the easiest thing to say, but it's doable. If I can do it, you can do it. So start out. Recently, I was just chatting with a friend. He started a catering business. He has a full-time job, but started a catering business. And last week, he catered his first wedding, 120 guests. That is the biggest he's done. So it's the first time. So there was a whole lot of, okay, I don't know if I can pull this off. But at the end of the day, he pulled it off. He was really tired. He was working his full-time job while cooking. He works from home. So he was working the full-time job while cooking, arranging everything, catering, packing, to deliver in the evening. So once he was done with work, he was now all about the packing. And it was so nice, the presentation. I'm like, oh my God, you pulled that off. So he sacrificed his comfort to pull that off. And then the reviews were so nice. Like, people loved the food. Now he is delivered, but you won't know all the stress he had to go through to deliver. But that's because he understood his why. He's willing to pay the price for the financial freedom he wants in the future. So I'm asking you again today, what are you willing to pay the price? What are you willing to sacrifice for the life you want? It's not going to be easy, but you've got to go in headstrong. So the question I want you to keep pondering in your head as you go into the new week that leads into the new month, what are you willing to sacrifice for your dreams, for your life? Are you sacrificing enough? Are you giving enough? Are you giving your best? I'm grateful for consistency. I'm grateful for grace that has carried me. I'm grateful for all of you. When I started on YouTube. On my other social media handles, I have quite a number of following, because I was quite active in the past. And when I started, I wanted somewhere where I wasn't known, so that I don't have the pressure to perform. I don't feel like the entire world is watching me. And for me, my goal was just to stay consistent. I wanted to keep showing up no matter what. My friend then, he was like, why don't you share your YouTube page? I'm like, I'm not ready for it. Because I think the truth was, I am scared. I've always been scared of the what ifs. What if I don't make it? What if I give up? What if it gets too hard and I say I'm no longer interested? What if I quit halfway? But then the whole podcast is about motivation and inspiration. And I say to myself, I can't be preaching what I'm not practicing. Right now, I'm still scared. But seeing that I keep pushing myself gives me the motivation to keep going. The fact that I understand the why that I'm doing this, it keeps me going. I initially thought it was just going to be me yapping to the camera for most of the time. But there are people following this page. There are people trusting me, listening to me. There are people showing up every week to vibe with me. And I'm like, I can't let them down. If it was just me yapping to the camera, it would have been easy to just give up and go. But now someone is listening. So it's a whole different trajectory right now. It's not just about me. It's about the message. It's about who needs to hear it. And that was the whole essence of starting. So we keep at it. So the assignment this week it's to first be grateful for how far you've come. I know so many of us are pushing ourselves. We're on so many different journeys and you're giving it your best shot. And I want to say you're doing absolutely great. Keep pushing, stay focused, don't give up. Whatever price you have to pay for your dreams, for your life, for the life you want, for your goals to be actualized, pay the price. And trust me, in the nearest future, it wouldn't matter. The sacrifice you're sacrificing right now, when you reap the fruit of that labor, of that sacrifice, when you see the end result, you will be glad you did. You won't regret it. So if it's the sleepless nights, if it's the hours of learning, if it's the midnight candle you're burning, if it's coming out of your comfort zone to do something you're so scared of, it will eventually pay off. And when it does, you're not going to remember how difficult it felt, how intense it was. You will just look back and be super grateful that you did, because you're seeing the result and you like the results. So I'm just encouraging anyone who is on a journey. You might feel like you're just starting out and you don't know your left from your right. Just keep going anyway. You might feel like no one is seeing you. I didn't think anyone was watching. I didn't think anyone was listening. But looking back at 10 weeks now, I'm glad I started because people are watching, people are listening. So don't be scared, don't be afraid to start that journey. Don't be afraid to understand your why. Don't be afraid to sacrifice or pay the price for the life, for the dreams you wish to actualize. And thank you so much for sticking with me on this episode, and I will see you next week. Bye, birds.